and welcome back to the channel. Thank you to all of you lovely subscribers, and if you've not subscribed yet, then please do, because it will help me feed myself. Not that I need any more food. Anyway, this week's car, as you probably guessed, is the new for 2020 Bentley Bentayga. Now, I've always said that if the Bentley Bentayga were a human being, it would probably be Andrew Lloyd Webber, the composer, simply because it, you know, looks a bit weird, but it's massively successful. Bentley's actually sold 20,000 of these things since it went on sale in 2016. And that's an average of something like 14 a day. And considering they're 133 grand before options, that's pretty bloody good business. And it's now Bentley's fastest selling car. But it's been given what we call a facelift. Now, a facelift in motoring world means a manufacturer's sales of a model have trailed off a bit after 3 or 4 years, and they want to give it a shot in the arm and revitalize it by changing the bumpers. It's usually what a facelift boils down to, but in Bentley's case, they've done quite a bit more, like a lot more, and I'll show you what. Now, I'll get the rest of the updates in a moment, because it's been more of a bum lift than a facelift. Bentley has invested in a lot of new expensive tooling to completely rework the metal here at the back end. You see the tailgate is now a full width one, unlike on the previous Bentayga where it kind of went like this. And you've got new tail lights which are actually on the tailgate rather than kind of on the sidey backy bit. Technical term. The tail lights themselves are new as well. They're these new svelte items which are designed to mimic those on the Conti GT and the Flying Spur. And you get oval tailpipes for the same reason. The number plate used to be up here. This is now a delicious, I think they call it a horseshoe shape. It's a big, very stylish dent. And they've moved number plate down here again to make it look butcher, meaner, wider, lower. You'll have to get measuring tape out for this one, but take my word for it. They've kicked each of the back wheels out 10 mil, so you've got a 20mm wider track to make it look sportier. Took me ages to work out how to open the boot. You just press the B. The actual boot space is the same size as before at 484 litres, I think, for the 5-seat version like this. And it's worth noting that the carpet inside the boot is actually nicer than any of the carpet in my own house. So yeah, you probably don't want to put a dog in there. I would nick a wipe-out rubber mat from your friend with a Skoda or something. But yes, bit of grass, sorry Bentley. It's on air suspension, so you can adjust the height of the back here so you can get old dogs in and out if you want to do that. I'm not really sure how much difference that thing ever makes, but hey, every little helps. To the front. The changes at the front of the Bentayga might be less dramatic than those at the back, but every panel from here forwards is brand new, and you've got a new, more vertical front grille, and it's also stretched out towards the headlights as well to give it a meaner, broader stance to make it look like it's more likely to run you over to nick your Mont Blanc pen, which you probably got for free with your bank account or your credit card. Anyway, you've got new headlights as well. Each has 82 LEDs in it, and they're designed to look like cut crystal glass, which is meaningless to me because I'm about as fancy as someone who eats KFC off a plate at home. Each of the LEDs can turn off individually to block out oncoming cars from your main beam, which means that you can leave your main beam on all the time and be an absolute wanker. But anyway, looks very aggressive, looks lovely. Hello, the face of the new Bentayga. What do you think? Do you prefer the back or the front? Or do you like them both equally? Tell me in the comments. The car, not me. Look how long it is. It's huge. It's actually 5.1 something meters long, which is very long, and you can't get it with Volkswagen Group's 4-wheel steering, which means it feels like you're trying to drive the Tirpitz around. It doesn't turn in a road as neatly as you would want for such a big car. But anyway, apparently that's because they would have to comprehensively re-engineer the rear suspension to make the 4-wheel steering stuff fit. Anyway, enough about the exterior. Bentley says the real changes are on the inside, so let's check that out. It's more than just a spruce up in the back as well. Bentley's done some pretty serious engineering to get you up to 10 centimeters more legroom. They've done that partially by letting you recline the seats more than twice as much as you could in the original, but they've also extended the gap here. It's all kinds of magic. The seats have more perforations higher up, so you get better cooling effect from the cooling fans in them. And your kids get this. He says, it's just being presented to me It's a new 5-inch tablet with a quad-core processor and a gigabyte of RAM. Can someone please hack this so you can run Doom on it? It feels like a little, I don't know, it feels incredibly solid, and the screen is super sharp, can't see the pixels, and you can adjust the seat heating, the blinds, the climate controls. This is cool. Kids will be fighting over this. You can lock it in there if you're a parent, so your kids can't have it. But yeah, that is a neat bit of kit. Whew. I'm 6'3" and I could genuinely fall asleep back here. This is great. Right, being the incredibly professional, organised type, my camera has run out of batteries, but I really want to show you this, because I know I just mentioned it, but oh, it feels so heavy in your hand. It's amazing. It's got these knurled metal bits. Come on, camera focus there. It's got these knurled grips on the back. Look at that. Yeah, so if I press this, note this. Oh, the blinds are moving. I want to stop them there. There we go, that's very cool. And then, oh, it's hard to actually do this. I can turn on the rear seat cooling and heating. I can set the temperature and whether I want it on my face, my knees or my head. Lighting. Oh, I want to change the colour of the lighting to something a bit more whimsical. What do you think, Miriam? Oh, orange today, please. And then, you know, the ignition's off, but then the lighting and the doors and the ceilings and everywhere would go orange. And I can say whether I want my feet to be lit up. I can see what speed the car is doing and all sorts of other things. Doesn't show you fuel economy, which is probably good, so your children don't think they're not going to be able to go to a nice school anymore because you spent it all on your V8 Bentayga. And you can set some other bits and bobs up. It's very cool. And when you want to put it back, it's magnetic. You just plonk it and then it whirs and it's accepted back into the car. Now, the interior of the Bentayga has been given a new lick of leather, I guess. It's all very, very leathery. This whole area here has been redesigned. You've got these new kind of wing-shaped air vents with the clock in the middle, which looks, I don't know, looks a bit like a bird that can tell you the time with its face. I don't know. New 10.9-inch infotainment screen, which has got impressively thin borders, is a bit annoying because that's not a haptic click, it just plays clicks through the speakers. But anyway, it's very sharp, very easy to use. It's got an embedded SIM, so you're always connected. And there's an app as well, so you can fiddle with all sorts of things. It's very good. There's a new digital driver's display, which shows you all the sorts of things you would expect. So maps and sat-navs, driving modes. Speaking of which, this is the control for the driving modes. This little knob, I don't know if you'll be able to hear this. This is a helicopter behind me. But this has the most satisfying click of any knob I've ever clicked in a car. And that means you can control this screen without using it as a touch screen. So you can keep your eyes on the road. That gets a Tim Rohde big thumb up. It's all very lovely. I think this is walnut in this one. Lots of real wood. All very nice. The seats are redesigned for this new updated Bentayga. But yeah, it's kind of pretty much faultless in here. You've got more room for your knees in the doors. And here, that's a train. It's been one of those all day. Bentley's also replaced all of the USB sockets with USB-C. But the best thing is, we still have those. Bentley calls them organ stops. They're to turn the fans on and off. And my God, if I had to admit to having a fetish for a part of a car, maybe I do, it would be these. They're so oily. It's like, the only thing I can think of, it'd be like plunging your fist into a bucket full of set jelly. It's, oh, ooh, ah, ooh. They're so smooth in their action. They're so simple, and they're knurled around the edges with this metallic finish. Everything in here is lovely. Click, click. It's like opening a safe. It's amazing. Except instead of getting a load of gold, you get BBC Radio 1. The oily bits. Yes, the Bentley is powered by the now familiar Porsche designed 4-litre twin-turbo Hot V V8. Here it's got 550 horsepower and 880 Newton meters of torque. It'll get from 0 to 60 in 4.4 seconds, on to a top speed of 180 miles an hour, which is quite good for a big SUV. There's a 6-litre W12 version in the pipeline. That's probably going to be the Bentayga Speed, I think. And there's also going to be a hybrid version as well. Now that's all the boring numbersy bits done. I have some errands to run in a way that only a Bentley owner can run errands. Let's see how it handles real life. Now, unfortunately, Jeeves is still on furlough, so I'm going to have to go to the tip myself to discard of his broken mangle. Tough times, bloody COVID. I've just got to the community recycling centre where I shall dispose of Jeeves' mangle with utmost haste, although I am now in a queue. It's going to be a good test for the Bentayga because I usually send Jeeves down here in his Yugo because there's quite a tight turn at the end of it, and this is quite a big car, and unlike the other Volkswagen Group cars on this platform, Bentley doesn't let you have four-wheel steering on the Bentayga, which I noticed trying to get it out of the carriage shed. I'm not a very good posh person, am I? What do you call a carriage shed? I don't know. Anyway, the stables. I was trying to rotate the car around a horse earlier, and it doesn't turn as tightly as my long-term Volkswagen Touareg does because it hasn't got four-wheel steer like my Touareg. You know, on a big car like this, you kind of do really start to appreciate four-wheel steer. Once you've had a car with it, you don't want to go back, especially if you live on a tiny, tiny road like Jeeves. Not me. Jeeves lives in a little granny flat down the other end of the estate where we keep the rhinos. So this is going to be interesting to see if I'll be able to fit this into the tip. I forgot my mask. I keep forgetting my mask. Hopefully my years of excellent breeding will keep me safe. Anyway, I'm in a queue, so I'm going to stop this and catch up with you in a minute. Next time Jeeves can bring his own bloody mangle. Where's that go? The glamorous life of a Bentley owner. Thanks Jeeves, you bastard. I'm on the way to my local artisanal, organic, free-range edible outlet of shoppingness to buy some nibbles for a high noon tea party I'm having on the morrow. Will the Bentayga be able to swallow the load of goods I'm about to acquire? Will I be able to fit an entire hog's leg in the back of it? Will my tea party be a success? Only time will tell. Wonder what delectable delights await at the artisanal counter of earthly delights. Yeah, it's noticeably harder to get this round these corners than the Touareg. Sorry, Mr. Bentley. I mean, it's better in literally every single other way, as you'd hope. I'm going to choose, you have to choose your space wisely. I've spied a lovely Porsche 911 and 997, possibly a Carrera S, I'm not really sure. I'm going to park near but not next to that. Reverse. It's got obviously a full suite of camera systems to make getting into a car park absolute child's play. Let's go and get our edible things. Unfortunately, the organic foie gras dispensary was shut because of COVID, so I've had to sadly slum it and come to Waitrose, but you know, hopefully I can still get my piccalilli and whale sperm dumplings for the party. Right, let's load up the Bentley's capacious boot with everything that we've acquired for the tea party. There we go. They were out of Bombay bad boys, so we had to make do. Bye bye. Now I've finished my errands, I want to talk a little bit more seriously, to be honest, about how the Bentayga makes you feel. Because I know it's very easy to think of this as, you know, a reskinned Audi Q7 or a Lamborghini Urus or a Porsche Cayenne or a Volkswagen Touareg, because they all use the same basic platform. But don't read too much into that. Bentley takes that and does something completely different and genuinely luxurious. I'm going over speed bumps. I could have 3 cases of 2011 Chateau d'Yquem in the boot. I don't, because I'm not rich. But you wouldn't be able to hear it. This does that Bentley thing of being so magically comfortable and quiet and wafty. It's, you know, the only thing that comes close in terms of refinement is a Rolls Royce, but that's going to be 3 times the price, and dare I say it, not feel as nice inside. For 140 grand for one of these, or 136 if we're being pedantic, it feels like a bargain 140 grand car. But no, honestly, it just gives you such a majestic sense of well-being and feeling good about things. I'm driving along at 50 miles an hour, I can barely hear anything. I feel the gentle, far away rumble of a cat's eye as I run it over changing lanes. I just feel very good about things. I'm not even in comfort mode. What Bentley's done with the steering wheel sounds like marketing nonsense. Oh, we've put the stitching on a bit you don't touch, but it genuinely has changed my perception of how nice a steering wheel can feel. I never thought I'd be saying such a boring thing, but it's true. They've chased these little hundredths for refinement. It just feels smooth. It feels like I'm holding a very nice, I don't know what to say, a very nice thing. I never thought I'd talk about steering wheel for so long. But no, the new Bentayga, I guess, a bit like the old one, it was just very refined for a big SUV, and considering, you know, it's a big SUV, it's not particularly aerodynamic. You don't get any wind noise, you just feel the outside world being locked away when you pull these big doors shut. You're not going to drive it like a sports car, but it handles brilliantly well. It's got 48 volt anti-roll bars as standard, like on the old version, which means it counteracts any lean when you go around a corner within something ridiculous like the blink of a bat's eye. If you've never driven a Bentley, leave your preconceptions at the door. And you know, you come to these things with certain preconceptions of footballers buy them. It's just, you know, tarted up Audi. It feels nothing like an Audi. It feels 3 times as opulent as an Audi, and everything's lovely to touch. And it makes you feel as if you've reached the pinnacle of motoring. Obviously not sports car style motoring, but you never really realised a car could feel this nice and make you feel so pleased with yourself, I guess. Yeah, so next time you see a Bentayga rolling down the road, don't think, that looks weird. Just think, yeah, that person's living their best life, because they are. Oh yes, sorry, that was a mild moment of orgasm at how good the brake pedal feels. It's got this, it's not softness, but it just lets you brake so gently at the end when you know, that bit between 5 miles an hour and a dead stop. You can just caress it into gentle, sweet nothingness, so your passengers won't even notice that you've come to a stop. And that's the kind of car a Bentley can be. It's really the most comfortable thing. It's very costing, and it's very rewarding to drive it in a gentle manner. But if you want to stick it in sport mode and cane it, it will blow you away with how fast and how controlled it is for such a big car. One thing I always say, when you get out of an expensive car, you know, when I've got out Ferraris and McLarens and things like that in the past, they always leave a slight taste in my mouth. If I had £250,000, whatever, there's no way in hell I would spend £250,000 on a car like that, because you're just not getting value for money. All the money goes on the engine. You get Ferraris with bits of rattly interior, and I know it's about the driving experience and the drama, but I don't really buy that. When you get out of the Bentley, that's 150, 180 grand, something like that, you genuinely feel as if you know what you're paying for. You feel like you're getting your money's worth, because everything you touch, everything you feel, was just engineered to be luxurious. Now, I've waxed lyrical about how fantastic the Bentayga is to drive for a big, heavy SUV, how luxurious it is, how quick it is, how well it handles, but it's not perfect. Now, you pay all this money for a big 4-litre V8 engine with lots of power, but you don't really get to hear it. I'm in sport mode, which is presumably the sportiest mode. Second gear, floor it. Oh, yes. All you get a lot of speed very quickly, but all you hear in the cabin is the mechanical whirring of the engine, which, you know, even a V8 doesn't sound especially inspiring when all you can hear is its bits of metal rubbing together. With the windows down in a tunnel, you realise that everyone else is being treated to a lovely noise, but not you, the person who's actually spent £136,000 on one of these. So yeah, I don't know, Bentley, can you pipe in more noise, please? That'd be my only real criticism of the driving experience. So in conclusion, Bentley has done a magnificent job of updating the Bentayga for 2020. The interior is as magnificent, comfortable and opulent as it's ever been, and now it's a lot more high-tech. The engine is just stonking. It's ridiculous. You won't need the W12 when that eventually comes out, and you just feel like you're getting your money's worth. I know it's a ridiculous statement to make because this is 150 grand-ish after you've put your options on it, but everything from the steering wheel to the aircon button things to the infotainment displays to the seats to the way it drives, the way it handles, the way it can put a smile on your face on a twisty road, that's worth the money Bentley's asking for this. I usually get out of cars like this and think, I'd never spend 150 grand on a car, but this has changed my mind. It isn't perfect. I think I would like more V8 noise in the cabin, more of the exhaust noise, not the thrashy mechanical noise. And the turning circle without four-wheel steering is roughly the same as a large aircraft carrier. But if you can live with those things and you've got 150 grand, stop watching this video and go and treat yourself. Go on, tell them I sent you. Anyway, thank you for watching. Like and subscribe and hit the bell notification to be notified when I put more videos out there on the internet. I think that's how YouTube works. And if you have subscribed, thank you very much. Your hug is in the post. I've been Tim. Goodbye.